Casey Ho fam, what is up? I hope all is well. Well, it's been a weekend of movies here at my house, wanting to get caught up and get through watching my movie list. I get a list from my Indian friends and my Russian friends, like hey, check this movie, check that movie out, and I kind of make a list of it. Here, I'll show you. I kind of make a list of them, and as I have time, I go through and watch them and kind of check them off. And I saw some really, really bad films this weekend. I saw Suicide Squad from DC Comics. Terrible. Terrible. And then, as far as my Indian friends are concerned, a film that I saw. Wow, it was really good. It was Madaari, starring Irrfan Khan. And I loved the film. Irrfan Khan is the greatest. He is the greatest Bollywood actor, Indian actor that there is. Okay, he is King Khan. I put his work up against SRK, Amir, Salman. This dude has game. He is outstanding, and he's one of my favorite actors. Period. He transcends Bollywood. He transcends India. He is international, dude. He is the best. He is the best actor. I love this dude's acting. He's very humble. He's very cool. Occasionally I'll tweet at him and he responds, like tweets back. Very, very cool, very, very humble guy. He was in Spider-Man. He was in Jurassic World, America, Wake Up, this dude. Just a little story about Irrfan Khan. So he did a movie with Tom Hanks, and it was part of that, I don't know, what the hell was that series? Nobody in America cares about this series that he does of the Da Vinci Code and of Heaven and Angels, and this was like the third one, and nobody cared. Everybody in America was like, right? And it did terrible in America. But internationally it did like, $1 billion. And the American film pundits, just to show you how stupid Americans are, were like, oh, Tom Cruise is apparently very, very popular internationally. No, morons. It's because Irrfan Khan was in it. It was because he was in it, dude. Everybody went to go see it because of him, not Tom Hanks. Get out of here. Somebody throw an elbow. Pow, get it. Put him back on that island with that little ball he had, that Wilson ball when he was in Castaway. Get rid. Who cares? Get out of here. That's so old, right? Dude, Madaari. Oh, man. I've never seen in an Indian film Irrfan be a bad guy. Well, I guess he really wasn't a bad guy. He was kind of like an anti-hero. But he's, I've seen him in Telvar or Guilty. I've seen him in Piku. I've seen him in, there's been a couple other films. I can't remember their names. But this thing was incredible. This was incredible. So this film was brilliant. It was brilliant. So here's kind of the synopsis. And I was so jacked up about it, I'm gonna spoil it. So if you haven't seen this thing, you get off this right now, and you want to see it because I'm gonna spoil the hell out of it. The movie starts off with him looking crazy. Right, he's got long hair and a beard, and he's walking with a limp, and he's kind of, he's checking out this school. He's like checking out this little school, and he's kind of spying on these kids. And at first I thought, no, there's no way he's the kidnapper, right? There's no way he's gonna hurt these kids. He's probably trying to figure out what happened, right? He's gonna. So no, he waits. He seizes his opportunity and he jumps on it, and he kidnaps this little kid that he kept referring to as Your Highness, which was hilarious. And he was the child of a politician, the interior minister, home minister. I don't know necessarily like all the titles in India for stuff. And he kidnaps this kid, and you're trying to figure out like why would he be doing that? And the kid starts off just being like a spoiled brat, like that just needs a good spanking, right? They just need a good spanking. India, please tell me you spank your kids, right? Because every now and then you need to do that. You need to bring the hand of understanding to the butt of knowledge. Sometimes you got to do it, right? And so he kidnaps this kid, and he doesn't make any demands. And you see that the family trying to, like, what we're going to do, let's get the army, let's get the FBI, there's all this stuff, let's, not FBI, whatever the Indian version is, and we're going to find him, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And then they called in the specialist guy, right? That specialist guy? It was the dude from Dar at the Mall, Fear at the Mall. Have you guys seen that film? That film sucked, dude. Fear at the Mall was one of the worst things I've ever seen. It was right up there with... Fear at the Mall and Suicide Squad would fight each other for the worst movie ever, and just pa. This dude was in it, and I remember seeing it being like, oh man, I hurt my eyes. This is terrible. He actually played a good role in this. He played a good role as the cop who was like, no, this is what we should do. We don't want to do this. We should do that. And we saw him, and we saw this game, this elaborate game of cat and mouse, and quickly you start seeing the story unfold that Irrfan is becoming an anti-hero. He kidnapped him because he's making a point about the corruption. He's making a point about the infrastructure of India, the bribes, the whatnot. And so the people are like getting behind this and like, this is awesome. Like we got somebody who's challenging the system in a very, confrontational way. And you start to see this kid, His Highness, begin to kind of change a little bit because he has, and this is important, he has a father figure in his life. Irrfan Khan is becoming a father figure to this young man, and you can see him starting to like behave, like to be good, to kind of fall into it. And what we find out is Irrfan Khan's son would have been his age, and Irrfan Khan, and it was such a touching moment, man. It was such a touching moment to see him with the little baby, and mom took off to America. And there's a line that Irrfan says in this. There's a line where he's explaining to the boy as he's older, I'm a common man. Your mom went to America, and she got fond of it. She didn't want a common man. She wanted an action hero. And he says it in a funny voice, but it was like Hindi. But you could tell that's what he was saying, like action hero. And it was a good laugh. And you see this love between him and his son and how much he does it in that one fateful day. The one fateful day he didn't go with this boy. That one day that the boy said, Dad, this is an extra $500 on top, but you gotta do this. Man, it changed everything for this guy. As a father who loves his son, I couldn't imagine that. The one decision you made not to walk your son to school at your normal routine had this ramification on his life. And then you see the game of cat and mouse between the police and him. And what they're coming to realize is this dude's smart. Irrfan Khan is a common man who has learned well. And he's hard to find because he blends in. I really liked in the film how they would do, like they would show a scene and you'd be like, oh, that's a terrible conclusion. But it was Irrfan Khan thinking ahead. Like, so that you would see the scene play out and then it would stop. And then it would kind of rewind and reverse because Irrfan Khan was thinking in his head as we go, no, this is going to end badly. Let's do it this way. And so we see the film kind of reach its conclusion where he's able to indict all the people involved of the corruption that happened, that this bridge was flawed, that it was damaged, and everybody knew it, and they did it anyways, and it costed him his son, and he got the truth out of everything here, and he ended up getting arrested. We see the touching moment where the boy runs to Irrfan. He's being freed. He runs to Irrfan and hugs him, and Irrfan hugs him back. And they were talking about Stockholm Syndrome, right? And Irrfan said, I think it goes both ways because he's getting really fond of the kid. And he gets arrested and goes. And, you see the aftermath of all of what he did in the corruption and whatnot. So, two things that I want to ask my Indian friends on. Okay? Well, I'm going to make a statement, and then I'm going to ask you two questions. The statement is, Irrfan Khan is the greatest actor ever. Admit it. Admit it, India. You know he is. If you got him and Rika Apte in the film, it would be the best film ever. Admit it. Okay, I'm done with that. Irrfan Khan he's bad. He's my boy, dude. Irrfan Khan right here. two things that I've noticed in Indian films, in Bollywood, Tollywood. I mean, it's probably more Hindi films. What is going on with the slap, right? The slap. You watch grown men get slapped in the face and they go, they fall down. Like, I don't understand that. I don't, like, why does anybody punch? Don't you punch them? Like, pow. Like, it's a slap. I mean, I find slaps to be more insulting than a punch in the face. I mean, because a slap says, biatch. That's what a slap says, right? A fist, at least you're respecting me as a man because you're trying to take. But a slap? It's everywhere. It's like in every film. Everybody's getting slapped, and I don't understand it. Like somebody needs to teach the Indian to put his arm up to block it and then counterpunch. Like, I'm like, oh, the slap. Okay, that's number one. Number two, it seems like, and again, I don't know. This could just be my own American perspective, noticing these things. Maybe I'm overblowing it. I have no idea. Number two, police corruption. It's like in every film. And I told my wife, I watched it with the Warrior Queen. She loved the film, right? We'll probably try to get her on that, share her thoughts on it. It concerns me. Two things concern me. Is this true? Are the police that corrupt in India? Because if that's the case, man, we got to do something to protect the people. As co-protector, we got to do something to protect the people. And number two, interrogation. Everybody's getting beat up in interrogation. Like, what? Like, I'm just like horrified at that. I mean, I guess it's better than getting shot in America when the police pull you over, you get a stick in the head. But it's like everybody's getting beat up and slapped by the cops. It's ridiculous. And are they really taking bribes like that? I hope that is just for effect. But man, the films always show like the police being crooked. And I get fearful for my friends. I get fearful, like, dude, who would want to be stopped by Indian police? You're going to get shaken down and slapped in the face and then hit with a stick? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's just there for effect. Please tell me if I'm wrong. I don't mean any offense to my friends at all. Okay, so that was it. This movie was great. I give it an A+. If I had a stamp with an A+, I'd be going... It gets A+ all the way. Action Jackson, you got to see this film. It's on Netflix. Now, there's two other things that I want to tell you about, unrelated to this. I went through and did some work on my website, darkskyradio.com. It's right down there. And I know some of you have tried to access it on your phone, and it was like a nightmare. I think I fixed it. I think so. So if you enjoy The Professor, if you enjoy hanging out with me, you can go and listen to hours and hours of The Professor down there. Right down there. You can do that. That's number one. And number two, Rashi, The World According to Rashi. Rashi is joining our team here. She's going to be blogging and doing some videos. And if you go to the website and then you click on blog, you can it was kind of the manifesto ramblings of Rashi, and she's going to be doing videos and whatnot. So come check out your fellow Indian country person and support her work and check it out. And also, finally, I promise this is it, HP is a friend of the show. She's going to be doing a show on our website. It's going to be featuring a music review and kind of giving you a history of music, and that's up on the website too. And boy, oh boy, we got a lot of good stuff coming for you, dude. We do. I will see you later, my friends. Goodbye. Subscribe to everything. I'll catch you later. Peace and much love from the Professor.